President Akufo-Addo has by executive instrument extended the ban on social gatherings by 2 more weeks, effective Monday, April 27. The ban affects all public gatherings including conferences, funerals, and churches. The president, who made this known during his 8th televised update on the control of coronavirus, said the decision, which is backed by science and data, has the support of some stakeholders.
Fellow Ghanaians, in the course of this past week, I engaged a number of stakeholders to discuss the future of existing measures which have imposed restrictions on public gatherings, shut down our schools, and closed our borders. I met with the chairperson and members of the Council of State, the president and members of the Standing Committee of the National House of Chiefs, representatives of organized labor, that is the leadership of the Trades Union Congress, the leadership of the Christian community, the leadership of the Muslim community, the President and Executive Committee of the Ghana Medical Association, representatives and leaders of the media, and the leadership of the National Union of Ghana Students, NUCS, and its affiliated associations. The strong consensus that emerged from these and other consultations is that the existing measures must be maintained for now until we have a firm grip on the movement of the virus. This consensus is supported by data and science, and I'm also very much of this view. I have accordingly, by executive instrument, extended for another 2 weeks the suspension of all public and social gatherings, as set out in Executive Instrument number 64 of 15th March 2020, effective tomorrow, 1 a.m., Monday, the 27th of April.
The president also announced the construction of 88 new hospitals in districts without same. He said each of the 100-bed capacity facility, which will be completed within 1 year, will accommodate medical doctors. The president also announced the construction of 6 new hospitals in 6 new regions.
We will this year begin constructing 88 hospitals in the districts without hospitals. It will mean 10 in Ashanti, 9 in Volta, 9 in Central, 8 in Eastern, 7 in Greater Accra, 7 in Upper East, 5 in Northern, 5 in Oti, 5 in Upper West, 5 in Bono, 4 in Western North, 4 in Western, 3 in Ahafo, 3 in Savannah, 2 in Bono East, and 2 in Northeast regions. Each of them will be a quality, standard design 100-bed hospital with accommodation for doctors, nurses, and other health workers. And the intention is to complete them within a year. We've also put in place plans for the construction of 6 new regional hospitals in the 6 new regions, and the rehabilitation of Efiankwanta Hospital in Sekondi, which is the regional hospital of the Western region. We're going to beef up our existing laboratories and establish new ones across every region for testing. We will establish 3 infectious disease control centers for each of the zones of our country, that is the coastal, middle belt, and northern, with the overall objective of setting up a Ghana Center for Disease Control.
President Akufo-Addo was unhappy about how some Ghanaians are aiding some African nationals to enter the country illegally.
Unhappily, there continues to be the worrying news of a few Ghanaians aiding some West African nationals to enter our country illegally, despite the closure of our borders. Even more disturbing is the fact that several of the West Africans who have been arrested have later tested positive for the virus. These are unpatriotic acts and must stop. We cannot allow a few persons who are motivated by their own selfish money-making interests to endanger the lives of the rest of the population.
The president urged Muslims to heed the prophetic admonition to pray at home in order to protect themselves from the surge of the pandemic throughout the month of Ramadan.
Just as the Christian celebration of Easter was severely affected by the virus, resulting in the cancellation of the usual activities associated with Easter, the holy month of Ramadan has not been spared either. It is my understanding that in the time of the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, any time there was heavy rain, he admonished the faithful through the azan to stay in their houses and pray rather than going to the mosques. In Bukhari's collection of the Hadith, Book 13, Hadith number 24, Ibn Sirin reports that Ibn Abbas said to his muezzin, and I quote, "After saying, 'I testify that Muhammad is Allah's messenger,' do not say, 'Come for the prayer,' but say, 'Pray in your houses.' It was done by one much better than I, that is, the Prophet." Through analogical deduction, Muslim scholars agree that rain represented danger, and therefore the prescription for Muslims to stay at home and pray in times of heavy rain is applicable to all life-threatening situations. I thus call on all Muslims to heed this prophetic admonishment, to pray at home, so we can protect ourselves from the danger of COVID-19.